being very excited about the studio edition of the Affinity range. I knew that there were going to be certain stuff that one had to get used to, different dynamics. I would just really love them to change these icons back to what they were before, but I'm sure it's just a button. I will check that for some time later. But for now, this is the thing that I was kind of concerned about. I wanted to be able to do the usual shortcut keys. So, if I click in here, it puts the cursor there. Then usually I go Control A on my keyboard and it selects all. But it wasn't doing. The only way I could do that is come to the edit. And I couldn't even see or text or select. But because we now got the vector pixels and that sort of stuff, there's certain nuances that I had to get used to. But I wanted a shortcut key to work. There's nothing working there. The other thing is, for example, let me just check out, select, go Control C to copy, then Control V to paste, and then I would take that and there'll be two. It wasn't working. So I realized that there's something different about the shortcut keys. And how do I go to change it? I go to Edit, go to Settings. Okay, and it doesn't matter in which of the studios you are. I must stop saying personas because that was the old way of saying it. But it doesn't matter in which of these studios you are. You'll still go to Edit and Settings. And this is the one we're looking at, shortcut keys. When I came here, I actually noticed there was nothing filled in here. If I go to Edit under Vector, nothing. And this is where the undo, the copy, nothing was allocated to it. And I gave it some thought, and I think it's probably brilliant that it's done this way. For reason is that most of the stuff that I do when I'm editing, I have like a handful of things that I use most of the time. And that's about it. And the other thing is, if I find there's an additional feature that I want to start using, I want to allocate a key to it, and then that key has been allocated to some other random shortcut key, in one of these menus, and then I've got to go find that, delete it, and reallocate it. So it might just be better that I redesign my own shortcut keys. And the beauty is that once you've placed them in, like per usual, if I had to go to cut, if I click here, I press, say, Control. You can see it comes up there, or if I go Shift, it will come up there, Control X for cut, and there it is allocated, and delete the same way there. I've already allocated a few in here. I'm going to just go and load it. So after you've allocated it, you can go save it, and I've saved it here as a RT vector with extension AF for Affinity and short for shortcuts. If I click there, you'll see it will populate this here with the ones that I particularly use. So if I make a change to this, say here with create style, and maybe that is Alt S, I can put that in there and it would remain in there. To my understanding, it will remain in the program, but it won't be saved as a preset. So I would rather go and maybe save it as a preset, but I don't want to save this now. I'm just showing you as an example. If you ever want to clear all of these out and restart again, you can do so. But let me just show you this. Under Vector, the Edit menu has these that you've allocated now. But if you go to the Pixel Studio, those ones in the Edit section all still remain because they're the same functionality. You don't have to go to each of these, to the Canva AI, to the Slice section and everything, and go change it under Edit. You might have to reallocate to all of these other stuff, yes. Here's the cool part about it, is if you think this is a bit of an overkill for you, you can come in and clear out all the shortcuts, so there's absolutely nothing there now. And then you just go to Reset. What Reset does, it takes it back to a factory default to all the shortcut keys that you are familiar with. So if I click Reset there we have it. All there, if you go to all the other menu items, you'll see all the shortcut keys that come as a standard default. That that's been with all the other previous versions. Again, as I say, if you are using these things as part of your ecosystem, then perfect, start with reset and add the different ones. But for example, if I want to say this one here must Control C, look what happens. See, it's going to give me this warning and it's going to say that has already been allocated to copy. Then I've got to go to copy, remove it there and see which one I want to prioritize. So again, I just prefer to go in and clear all shortcuts. And I'm going to just load my preset one again. And this is how I function. So if I come to, oh, you're not seeing anything there because there's nothing else except the stuff that I have under edit. So as I'm functioning, if I find out, this particular function is going to work a bit better for me, then I go allocate a shortcut key to it, save it. So I'm building up my shortcut keys based on what I particularly use and not what the default is. And pretty much the default stuff, like if I want to go and print, I assume print would be under File. And there's print there. Now I have very little need for print because if I do prints, I take it to a printing house, so I export things as PDF. It's more likely I place documents, so I would go in here and put the letter P for place. And doesn't that make more sense for me? So I'm going to go now and I'm going to save this. So that becomes my additional default. And in this case, this just works beautifully for me. Now I can go and I press the letter P. And let me go find a picture. And then I can place there, or I can press P again. I'm going to select these three objects and I'm going to multiple place them. Let's see. It should give me a dialog box. There you go. I can open this dialog box a bit more. So I'll select this one and put it here. Select that one and put it there. Select that one and put it there. Close the place box. So see how it makes sense just to build up your own shortcut keys. I think that is much better than finding you are bound to all the presets and defaults. So again, kudos to Affinity guys who give you the option to start off with a blank slate or to reinitiate everything for yourself and the ability to work in between with those stuff. It just makes brilliant amount of sense. It takes a short while to set up your short keys, but then you know it's your short keys and customized to your own use. So have a fantastic day, be blessed, and shalom to everybody.